Hello and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3 here on HeflaTV HB1. I'm Grandis and I'm going to be joined by Mike Loris. This is a lower bracket best of 3 between Power Rangers and Lions. The loser is going to be out of the tournament.
Yeah, so I think most people would say if you just look at these teams, probably Power Rangers have a slight edge here, but this is a new Lions. This is the Lions that they played through the group stages. This is a mix of Draft Par and Lions, so it's like Lions Coast hybrid. And so far I've only seen them play in one best of 3, but they 2-0'd that best of 3, so maybe we're going to see something similar here. It's really hard to get a beat on exactly how powerful and how strong the new Lions is going to function.
For now, we're going to see the early bans as well as picks coming out from either sides. Power Rangers is going to start off with a Legion Commander and Scarlet Mage, a decent combo in its own right, and Lions will get a Venge and a Viper.
Alright, so pretty strong openings from either side. Power Rangers do like to run the Legion Commander a little bit more than other teams, I would say, and just opening up with the dual Mystic Flare could get you a couple of kills here and there, and if it is going to be a solo mid Legion Commander, which so far I would expect, you're going to have a pretty decent time at getting those duels up a lot faster. And also, you have Press the Attack versus Vengeful Spirit Missile and Viper Slow. It could be pretty useful at saving a couple of heroes' lives.
Definitely, and we'll just have to see how the rest of the draft commences. Although these are some pretty solid heroes coming out from either side, there's still plenty left inside the pool, and even though Viper, Vengeful Spirit, and Legion Commander Scarlet Mage are filling up some pretty important roles inside the lineup, it doesn't necessarily lend them towards any particular style of play. Lions probably want to get a mech on their Viper, start 5-manning and pushing fairly early on, whereas Power Rangers are going to be waiting for the Blink Dagger, which is key for Legion Commander to get some dual pickoffs, but outside of that, it still hasn't really shown itself from either side.
And if they really do want to go for that grouped up mech into 5-man pushing, then Death Prophet's still available. She was not banned out just yet, with Io and Ogre Magi taking a little bit more of those earlier banned slots. So it would make the Viper go into the safe lane, which is perfectly fine versus with the Vengeful Spirit on the team, and it could work out very well for Lions. So Death Prophet should be a consideration, honestly, for both teams. It's just such a powerful hero that you probably don't want to outright ignore it. You should consider it at the very least. And for both teams, I could get quite a bit of traction. But for now, it's going to be a Necrophos ban out.
Also, another hero that might be a consideration, especially for Lions, Draw Ranger is potentially on the pitch, although up against Legion Commander could be questionable. I would expect it to be coming later on in the draft, if they do go for it at all.
Yeah, that actually wouldn't be too terrible just yet. Up against Legion Commander, maybe not, but I don't know. Sometimes you just got to run it with it. And, well, from what I've seen of Lions so far, it was in their games, they ran a couple of weird strategies. I think it was Juggernaut and Omni Knight on the same team, which worked out pretty well. So I'm sure something the exact same isn't going to happen here, but Lions are definitely, I would say, more prone to those weirder picks than they were just a couple weeks ago. So maybe we're going to see something completely out of the box for Lions, but for Power Rangers, they're going to ban out the Tidehunter after having banned out the Dazzle. You really don't want to face up against the Dazzle as a Legion Commander pretty much ever. And now from here, where do they go? Really, they could just pick up a solid hero like Puck and then just be happy moving into any direction going down the line.
More or less. If they want to pick up another support, Earthshaker or Sand King are both available and could also be pretty decent depending on which direction they want to head towards. Offlaners, Centaur is always available and would be a nice choice, combining well with the Legion Commander as well as the Scarlet Mage. A lot of nuke damage inside the duel to bring down those targets faster, as well as the Stampede to get Legion Commander in close. And then the Amp for Hoof Stomp Double Edge is always pretty nice. That could be a decent choice, but instead it's a Rubik. Kind of a non-committal support, but it's always nice to have that point-click disable.
Yeah, I suppose it is going to be nice having both the Telekinesis, very fast to come out, disable, and the Ancient Seal, kind of the same thing, except in Silencing extended disable. It does seem like a little bit early to pick up a Rubik. Usually, unless the enemy team has, Ravage and Black Hole and everything under the sun, then you're going to wait until a little bit later to pick up the Rubik. And now with the Rubik on the field, the Rubik's actually not that good versus Drow Ranger. Like, it's nice to have a disable and stuff like that. And, well, Centaur War Runner, the Rubik gets a little bit better, but I think Power Rangers probably picking up the Rubik a little bit earlier than they really could have. But Lions, they are going to go for this Drow Ranger-oriented type of lineup, and it is going to be the Drow Ranger Visage as their secondary picks. No one should be really surprised about the Visage following the Drow.
Definitely not. Draw Ranger, although there's some really good heroes to get up in her face in the Centaur and the Legion Commander, if Draw Ranger is able to get off the Gust and then like a subsequent Blink or just booking it with Mask of Madness could be a decent way for Draw Ranger to keep herself safe. It's going to be very reliant on Era's positioning in this game, but then again, could work. I like the Draw Ranger, at least going for it this game.
Yeah, so right now, Lions, they do need one more core hero. Death Prophet's still available, and I think between Death Prophet and Viper, it pretty much doesn't get any better for Drow Ranger lineups. Like, maybe you want to throw in a Razor there in your super ideal Christmas Land world, but for a Drow Ranger lineup, this is looking like it is realistically the best you could possibly do for Lions. And well, Power Rangers have Centaur and Legion to answer this. Is that enough? Because Lions have just the perfect lineup right now. They've gotten pretty much everything that they've wanted so far.
More or less. Power Rangers have one more slot to fill inside their lineup, presumably something to go for the safe lane. Although it would leave them pretty melee heavy, maybe just going for like a Phantom Assassin or just another hero to really throw a wrench into Draw Rangers' plans could be a decent choice for them.
We just got finished seeing Phantom Assassin being played in the mid lane, played by Illidan, so that is also an alternative that Power Rangers have, and well, against a Drow Ranger lineup, most of the damage is going to be physical. You have a little bit of magic thrown in there with the Visage and the Viper Strike, but Blur against Drow Ranger is fantastic, and of course, getting right into her face, decreasing the damage of the entire team is also something that's worthwhile. I don't know if they exactly want to go down that route, since that would mean that, well, Legion Commander and Phantom Assassin might be fighting for that lane, or might be a little bit troublesome, but a Broodmother, oh, first time for me in the new patch. This should be pretty exciting.
I'm not sure exciting's the right word, but
No,
Broodmother...
it is the right word.
It is the right
It is the right word.
Okay, fair enough. Broodmother is going to be pretty good here, as they just don't have a great way to clear creep. Scratch that, they have an axe. Okay, well this game just got to a whole new level of excitement with these last two picks.
See, that's what I meant, man. Exciting because of axe, right?
Of course.
Broodmother, I mean, I haven't seen her in the new patch, so I'm sure this would be like mildly amusing for me, but I'm sure it'll also get very old very quickly just because of, honestly, Broodmother feels like a cancerous hero. Like, once she gets traction, like, she will not stop, and you don't want to be playing up against Broodmother because it's a pain in the ass. So, I mean, Lions, they have... Broodmother's actually pretty good against Drow Ranger, but is very terrible against Axe. So Lions, with the last pick, is going to shore themselves up against this Broodmother as best they can, and look at that, they're heading down into the same lane.
And for now, well, on the Radiant side, it's going to be Lions. Era's going to be leading charge towards top, supported by Venge of Seal Kid and Handskin playing on the Visage. Mid lane, Viper is going to be played by Ape Mother, and safe lane, we've already kind of mentioned the Axe. He's going to be played by Jonas Fan.
He's going to be going toe-to-toe with Sochlo's Broodmother, who's soloing down towards the bottom lane. We got Ditchara, who's going to be playing the Legion Commander over in mid. J4 is on the Scourth Mage, supporting up top, as is Soniko on the Rubik, and that leaves Cheshire Cat as the protected tri-lane farm on the Centaur. And this is going to be, well, I mean, kind of a little bit clear, since Broodmother is going to be soloing a lane almost 100% of the time. This is a decent lane for Power Rangers, but, I mean, this is just such an aggressive, dangerous lane from Lions that even though this is probably the best lane that Power Rangers could have asked for, it's still going to be difficult.
Definitely so much damage from these three. Although Drow Ranger is not going to be directly putting that much lockdown onto the enemy side until a couple more points up into the Frost Arrows come out, she is still going to be able to do quite a bit with the right clicks, but she's going to be slowed down by a concussive shot. If they get the telekinesis to connect, this could very well be our first blood. With a double down true on Cheshire Cat, Era is going to be giving up the first blood.
And now they're also running Intercept route into Handskin as well. No more disables just yet. Concussive shot cooling down. Era has returned, and they do have Seal Kid wrapping around from the side. Wielding a magic missile will throw it onto Soniko. Handskin charging up that soul. So I'm just going to throw it onto the Rubik and get the kill, but still the double damage on Cheshire Cat. Just feeding into Seal Kid won't quite be enough with this arrows from Era slowing him down. It is going to be a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but Power Rangers, of course, because they got the first blood, are going to come away slightly ahead. Also, they managed to kill off Era, which is the hero you want to be killing off in this scenario.
Definitely. This tri-lane's definitely not over as well for Lions, and both teams can still go blow for blow, but Vengeful Spirit forced to eat through quite a chunk of their regen, and Handskin is completely dry mana after dropping 2 soul assumptions that fight, forced to eat through all of the clarities that they have left in this lane.
Well, they will be able to put out some pretty nice sustained damage, and really Cheshire Cat though he is very nice at taking those very bursty engagements over long drawn, very slow poke fests. The Centaur is going to be at the mercy of 3 ranged heroes. Though he does have 2 ranged heroes on his own team, it is really hard to combat against that much chip damage. So I don't expect this lane to be going the best for Power Rangers unless they decide to go very aggressive very often in those small bursts of aggression. Let's take a quick look at the other lanes. We have Viper going up against Legion Commander. For right now, it seems to be for the most part even, and well, 8 Mother is going to inevitably start to pull ahead as just Viper against anyone. It should be the case.
Yeah, especially against a melee hero. Down in bottom, it's going to be Shashla versus Jonas Sunfan. And Broodmother's not having a terrible time, but not having a grand time either. For now, it's pretty mediocre. Once she gets the spiders, she can't really push the lane because just a call and 1 spin is pretty much enough to clear out the entire wave of them.
And she has to also be very careful. The spiders are probably going to do her more harm than help. And even Jonas and Van, not even spotting out the Broodmother. He has no true sight right now, this Axe. If he is constantly drawing aggro, which currently he is with the Stout Shield and the Ring of Protection, he's more than happy to do so. Shasho can get chunked down very hard. He only has 1 point spin web, so the regeneration is going to get slightly better later on. But man, if Axe catches Broodmother in a stray call, then it's just all over for her.
Yeah, and Cheshel really can't push this wave until Axe leaves, and I'm not sure he's going to do that until he gets a Blink Dagger, which is probably the time for Lions to make some moves with that hero, but other than that, I think that this is pretty much just going to be the status quo. Axe pushing the wave under Broodmother's tower, just constantly getting some wrath off, and Cheshel will get CS here or there, but more or less, all of the action is going to be up top, unless we see some rotations, which can happen, but are unlikely at least now.
Well, we see Sachlo dropping down very low again, got caught in that call, is going for a Soul Ring, which is pretty standard for Broodmothers, and that'll allow her some way of fighting back versus this Axe. In fact, she's going in right now. Jonas Fan dropping pretty low, has a Tango working away and a call available, but Sachlo really wants to go for this one, it seems, or maybe he just wants to buy boots. Either way, it's going to be both heroes in the bottom lane getting roughed up pretty badly, but I think both of them are going to survive for a little bit longer.
Honestly, I would have loved to see Broodmother get a point into the passive Incapacitating Bite up against Jonas Sunfan, a solo melee hero, although it would cost you something in your spiders later on. I'm not sure that matters, because really when you get the Broodmother, the pushing power comes out mostly from the spider rights. Oh my goodness, Dire Courier, what was that carrying and where was it?
It was only carrying a Ring of Protection, so it's not that a big deal. It was delivering something to Jira. I believe it was the bottle, which I guess mission accomplished. It delivered the bottle, so things could have gone a lot worse, but still Viper just very easily got handed a free courier. So that's a pretty nice lead being taken now by Lions. It's hard to overcome such an early courier loss unless you make some serious action happen within the next coming minutes. And maybe Legion Commander with the duel is going to make that happen, but who are you going to gank? Are you really going to dual gank an Axe? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's just not any clear openings. Blink Dagger on the Centaur is another key item for Power Rangers, but Centaur is not getting as much as he'd like to out of this lane. Neither is Era, to be fair, and Era did give up the first blood. But that's okay. The other 2 lanes are going just fine for Lions, and Era has plenty of time to catch back up.
Yeah, so he's going to be slowly recovering, and he is working with quite a few range heroes on his team. 8 Mother in particular is going to receive probably the most benefits off of this Dro Aura until Hanskin, of course, gets to his level 6 mark, but that is pretty far away for him. He's only level 2 right now, and the levels are not doing the best for Power Rangers in their safe lane, but it's still doing a lot better than the Lions aggressive tri lane, which so far isn't doing its job. It's not keeping Cheshire Cat off the wave. Even though they could be going a little bit more aggressive, they're playing this extremely cautiously. It's like Lions are scared in this lane. Yes, it is dangerous. I don't know if they should be this terrified, though. They're going to get initiated upon. Telekinesis is already used. Cheshire Cat looking for a stomp, but he's getting kited back and forth through the Frost Towers. Now with the Magic Missile, Cheshire Cat is going to go down before you cast a single skill. That's what Lions should be looking to do, and I don't know why they're so scared of doing it.
Well, they end up making it work now, and it is definitely heavily punished. Eric getting the last hit is going to be catching up nicely into this game, and currently one of the top 3 in net worth, although that's a little bit less relevant right now. That's still very fluctuating. Era lifted up, pulled back into a stomp coming out from Cheshire Cat. Now Era is going to be paying for his aggression in this lane. Seokid and Hanskin just not with enough mana, but they'll be able to turn onto Cheshire Cat with the full soul assumption bar. Cheshire Cat is going to fall to 1 more right click. Hanskin taking a lot of damage, but should be safe under his tower. It's a 1-for-1 trade, favoring PR slightly.
Yeah, I mean, just barely, I think. It's still going to be relatively even. They do get technically a little bit more gold, but I don't really think that type of change is going to matter too much in this game. It is just going to be both lanes still playing very aggressively versus each other, and it has to be the Radiant to play things more aggressively because they simply don't have access to those pulls like the Dire have been doing for a very long time, not only into this easy camp, but also, you know, from the hard camp diagonally upwards into the corner of the map. So Power Rangers, they're getting a lot more mileage out of this lane because they do have access to those pulls, and Lions are doing okay, but they need to be doing much better than okay if they want to feel comfortable in this scenario. Good thing for them is that 8 Mother's doing very well, and the Axe is also doing very well. So even though the top lane might not be doing the best, they're still getting a decent amount as far as the entire team is concerned.
Yeah, 8 Mother has more or less complete free farm in the mid lane, kind of to be expected, doubling up or getting close to doubling up the Legion Commander and her farm, and that's going to maintain the case. Viper going for a fairly passive build. If he really wanted to crush this lane, he could go for more points into the Poison and Nether Toxin, but he doesn't need to. 8 Mother is doing wonderfully, and down in bottom, we are going to see Jonas Sun Fan looking for a a Vanguard into the Crimson Guard later on in the game. He's going to have that very quickly.
And that means he's going to be pretty much brick walling shots, though, 100%. Those Spiderlings are going to be doing literally nothing to the Axe, and he's taking a little bit of nuke damage occasionally from Broodmother, but that's nothing that an Axe can't handle. So Jonas Fan probably isn't going to be leaving this lane that often, and Chopso, the Broodmother, is also having no plans at leaving this lane. Someone who should be leaving their lane soon enough should be Ditch Your Ra. The mid lane Legion Commander, level 7, is capable of stacking up some damage now, but not by herself. She really needs a little bit more help before she's going to go look for these dual kills, but I mean, top lane is probably the best way to go, and it looks like they are going to head in that direction, or not. Now they're just going to secure the rune.
Yeah, I like what Broodmother is doing with the Spiderlings. It's pretty worthless to leave them inside the lane, as you're probably just going to feed them the way of the Axe. She's able to farm 3 jungle camps with these very efficiently, with webs every which way. So Cheslo is getting quite a bit out of this off lane, and CSing better than the Axe because of it, or close to the Axe because of it.
It is going to go down to the net worth where it really makes the difference. She is 600 behind because of the typically reduced bounties of jungle creeps, but still she's getting a lot more. And this Axe counter, though it is, you know, doing okay in its lane, really has yet to take off. Broodmother has so far been pretty much jungling. I mean, it's not really what you would expect when you see a Broodmother in the game. She went to the off lane, but she's just jungling right now, and she's going to make a large wraparound, going for 8 Mother with a huge Spiderling army. 8 Mother's going to take quite a bit of damage. The duel will fizzle, and here comes Jonas Fan with a huge call. There's so many spiders. The spins 1, 2, 3, 4 with a dunk, and Jonas Fan's going to turn things around for a double kill for Lions. Wow, that many units called, you cannot survive that. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that's the reason why we said that Axe counters Broodmother. It's because of calls onto so many of those minions and getting so much CS from that. Inside that one call, he got like 15 at least CS, as well as being involved in 2 kills. Great turnaround for Lions, and now Tier 1 Tower is going to fall in mid because of it.
And 8 Mother, I think the difference there, mostly being that chainmail, taking a lot of reduced damage from the Broodmother, little Spiderlings, and of course having maxed out Corrosive Skin certainly helps as well. Ganking your Viper is extremely difficult all the time, and you really need a better ganker than Broodmother to help out. Level 4 Spiderlings, and well, that's pretty much it as far as her damage output is concerned. Top lane, though, Ira is going to get stampeded upon Double Edge, not quite going to kill her off. Now here comes 8 Mother with a silence as well. Saniko is taking tower shots, and he's going to go down. Cheshikat has no way to disengage, and he's going to go down as well. That's another 2 kills going in for Lions. They're just rotating perfectly to counter every single advance that Power Rangers are making.
And that rotation is even more important. That's going to give you... My goodness, I just had like this huge lag spike. Hopefully that wasn't... Okay, my network is fine. Okay, that was really weird. Visage does have his level 6 now, and the Drow damage is going to be applied to those familiars. Level 6 on the Drow Ranger, already 16 bonus damage. At this point for those familiars, it's very significant, even though Drow Ranger has gone for a very aggressive build without the maxed aura. Down in bottom, they'll kill off the Axe. I didn't see how that happened, but Broodmother's also going to die.
Yeah, they just dove him a little bit too far, and Axe got one final spin literally the moment before he went down, so he was able to kill off the Broodmother, and then, no, he got the kill. Maybe it was a random creep or something like that, but anyway, the Broodmother died, and the Axe died as well. J4 and Saniko making their first rotation out, which is, you know, much needed from these 2 supports, but this is going to be at the cost of their top Tier 1 tower, it seems. Maybe not immediately, but this tower has no one to defend. And Power Rangers, they're making no moves to defend it. It is going to be a tower for tower trade, but here comes the axe down towards bottom. Looks like it's just going to be a clean trade.
For now it is. Call stolen by the Rubik, one of the more useless spells to steal his Rubik. He can't really tank the damage very effectively, and although if you had a Blink Dagger, it's kind of nice, it's pretty useless to get in range. Maybe to follow up after a lift. It's not terrible. Either way, Tier 2 tower up top's also going to take some pretty significant structural damage as well. Drawer has worn off onto these Visage Familiars, so it's not going to be this Tier 2 tower falling or even getting close to it, but it's still 400 free damage, so the Lions didn't have to work very hard for it.
And still, if Power Rangers want to defend this with 1 or 2 heroes, they're going to be massively outmatched, as Viper here is, pretty much in and of itself more than enough for any duo of Power Ranger heroes to handle. Visage and Vengeful Spirit behind him, and things get really ugly very quickly. They're rotating 4 heroes up here, which might be, it probably will be enough to overpower Lions should they find an opening, and it might be on the Courier that they're going to find that opening. Axe has a Blink Dagger though, so he can reinforce very quickly. Stampede forward. They're going to get a lift up onto 8 Mother, drag him back into a Hoof Stomp. Magic Missile is going to slow this down. 8 Mother now going to be dueled, but it doesn't look like he's taking enough damage. Although with the Mystic Flare, he will go down. Duel being won. It will be at the trade of Sneeko, however, and Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage with the Familiars as well. Here comes Jonas Fan with a nice 2-man call. He's going to peel off both those heroes from the supports, and then he will decapitate both of them. Shacho will pick off one Familiar, but Jonas and Fan still in the area, just looking for a call, just looking for a little bit of true sight. They can't find anyone else, but it's still going to be a 4-for-2 trade. Lions bring the reinforcements once again to take a beneficial trade for themselves.
Yeah, and Checholo is the only one to survive in that, and he's just chilling in the trees. Checholo can really do very little to nothing about this. If he gets caught out by an axe call, could be all over for the Broodmother. I think Brood's going to be just fine. They don't have any detection on the axe or the Draw Ranger, but this axe is getting an absurd amount of farm this game. Blink Vanguard at 13 minutes, can't really ask for much more, and he's going to be well on his way towards a Crimson Guard. Once you have that, Spiderlings are going to be doing very little damage, not to mention, like, the Legion Commander up towards top. They're going to get the call into Cheshire Cat, and we'll be able to bring him down, even though Jonas Sunfan is silent. Flipped up under tower, taking tower shots. It's going to be pulled outside of the Mystic Flare, now turning. He's not going to have enough damage, and will fall to the Broodmother, who spits him down with spiders. Arrow TP attempt will succeed. 1-for-1 trade up top.
It's a relatively even trade as far as trades are concerned. Centaur has his Blink Dagger as well, though it certainly seems like Axe has a Blink Dagger and a half just because he's gotten so many more uses out of it. But it is still Lions 13-for-6 because they've taken so many beneficial trades up to this point. The Drow Ranger also going for a very damage-oriented build with 2 Wraith Bands, or I guess 3 Wraith Bands, one being built into the Aquila, plus a Yasha. Everyone on Lions, with the exception of Axe, is hitting really damn hard. Plus 42 on the Viper, not even considering the Wave of Terror damage, plus the Vengeance Aura damage. Lions, they could go for tower pushes, not because they have great tower pushing heroes, just because everyone is hitting like a truck.
Definitely, and, well, it looks like they're going to find an opening mid, swap on Ichira as well as a Magic Missile with the Familiar drops. They'll call him down, and Ichira is going to be decapitated by Jonas Sunfan. They'll clear up the creep wave pretty easily as well. Quelling Blade, stolen by Sneeko. Quite a fun spell to steal this Rubik, but, yeah, still a very big victory for Lions, and they'll be able to put some pretty significant damage on this Tier 2 tower to boot. The Familiars still have that extra 42 damage and will just rip this tower to shreds. I think they'll be able to take it before PR do anything.
And then after this, they could very easily slide up or down and then take yet another Tier 2 tower. That pushing power is just so devastating, and though there is 100 seconds until Precision Aura is activatable again, they will be able to get something, and it looks like that something is going to be Roshan. They have minus armor from Seal Kid's Wave, as well as Handskin's Medallion, and man, Roshan is not lasting long at all. That is just a disgusting rate of damage, and that's going to be Era now with a double life, so I mean, you could maybe bring him down once, but good luck killing him twice with this much damage on the enemy team. It's going to be a very glass cannon-y kind of build from Lions, but I mean, they have a mech and axe behind it, so as far as glass cannons go, this one's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's glass cannon at all. No, Drow Ranger is going to get some strength to back that up with the Sanj. Eventually going to be picked up. Shashla is going to be tagged by Viper Strike, but no further detection. Except for the tower detection, they will be able to drop him low, but he'll survive by the skin of his teeth. Call from Jonas Sunfan. Gonna miss Sentry a little too late. Shashla survives on the sidelines.
But the tower is going to be deniable now. And Power Rangers, they have a lot of heroes in the area. They really want to go in. They have Vision of 8 Mother. Do they really want to engage on a Viper? They'll have to blink into Telekinesis and Mystic Flare and lay the Centaur combo in as well. Shacho is now spotted, and I think everyone from Lions should be fine. This time it's going to be a little more difficult for them to reinforce should Power Rangers start a fight, but it looks like there's going to be no fight to happen over on this top lane. Everyone else is going to back off, and they're just getting a little bit more farm here and there. Sanjin Yasha pretty much completed on the Drow Ranger, will be very soon. And there is already the workings of an Aghanim Scepter on Handskin. In fact, he's halfway done already. This is a remarkable amount of farm for Visage.
Yeah, it definitely helps that he's been involved in 8 kills as well as the team taking 4 towers. J4 going to be jumped by John Sunfan, not getting enough spins, however. Now with the Visage Familiars, they need to be careful. Familiar drop 1 and 2 are going to both miss, and that'll be the failed attempt on the kill onto the Skarath Mage. But either way, Lions are getting very close to some really significant items, whereas PR just don't have anything to compare to it. 1 stack of damage on the Legion Commander is nice at 16 minutes in the game, but it's not nice enough. They need quite a bit more, and nobody's farming well enough. Broodmother's at the top of the net worth chart, but that's turned into a Yasha.
And now, because they've pulled out the Stampede from the Centaur, they're going to chip away at the Tier 3 tower, and by chip away, I mean absolutely destroy the Tier 1 tower. This is not a lone Druid push, this is not a Enchantress push, this is just Drow Ranger pushing. They're going to maybe lose a top lane Tier 2 tower, as Broodmother is doing Broodmother things up on the top lane, but Power Rangers, I think, probably have higher things to worry about right now, because they're going to lose a Tier 3. And Tier 2 for Tier 3 is a trade that Lions are going to make every single day of the week, especially when they can take Raxes thereafter. They're going to split their focus between range and melee, which is potentially going to be a mistake, although they're both falling at about equal rates, and Power Rangers, they're looking for an angle in, but they can't find it. This is going to be a pre-20-minute Raxing.
Very surprising. I don't know, PR just couldn't do anything. Their lineup doesn't have the tools that they need to combat up against the raw advantage that Lions have made for themselves. Almost 10,000 in the gold, 5,000 in the experience. Because they're 5-manning so much, it isn't as large as an advantage in the experience as I thought it would be. But still, they're just doing so much damage, and Drow Ranger, as a carry is concerned, comes online pretty quickly, especially when you have a double life. They could do nothing. Stampede, they find a jump, it's going to land on 8 Mother as well as Handskin. They'll blow up the Viper and now look towards the Visage. They'll pull him back into the team, but Drow Ranger's doing quite a bit of damage herself, slowing down Shachlo, silenced up by the Rubik, stealing his silence, but it doesn't actually matter. Dunk on Shachlo, the Spider is going to get all of his legs ripped off of him, now onto the other 2. It's going to be 4 for 2 the trade in favor of Lions as they mop up the last supports.
And that silence from Ira was absolutely crucial. When everyone's lining up like that, it's so easy to land, and it does so much work. And Power Rangers tap out. I mean, pre-20-minute Raxing, 9 times out of 10, is going to be a death sentence. And judging by the momentum of this game, it was only a matter of time before Lions would have ended it. But either way, that's game 1 down the drain, and Lions take that one in devastating fashion.
Definitely. I like their draft, and they executed it well. Lions are looking really strong, and I quite like their new lineup. It just seems to be working out for them. That said, PR still have a chance to come back into this tournament, and they better do, as their tournament life is on the line in this next game. Currently on match point. We'll be back with game number 2 shortly here on HeflaTV with Grandis V and Mike Loris.